Welcome to Decoded Daily. This episode is brought to you by Idea Data. Want to stay ahead in AI and tech? Try Idea Data. Join thousands of professionals in AI tech and business from Fortune 500 companies like IBM, MetLife, Amazon, and more. Get smarter on AI tech and new markets with our newsletter. The link is in the show notes. Today we're taking a deep dive into the tech trends set to dominate in 2025, and it feels like we're on the verge of a whole new world. I'm talking AI revolutionizing healthcare, the metaverse shaking up finance, smart cities becoming even smarter with 5G, and the backbone of it all, the data centers keeping everything running. Ready to explore, because I'm already geeking out.
Let's jump right in. It's fascinating to see how these seemingly separate trends are actually deeply intertwined.
All right, so let's start with AI and healthcare. We've got this article from Healthcare Dive about tech companies pitching AI platforms to transform the industry, and there's a lot of talk about a responsible rollout. What exactly does that mean in practice?
Well, you can think of it as a cautious approach to integrating AI into such a sensitive field. It's not just about the technology itself, but about considering the ethical implications and ensuring patient safety. For example, Google Research's Greg Corrado compares early evaluations of AI models to first drafts. They require continuous refinement, rigorous testing, and constant feedback to be truly safe and effective for patients.
So it's not a set it and forget it situation.
Not at all. It's an ongoing process of learning and adaptation, just like a doctor who keeps updating their knowledge throughout their career.
Okay, that makes sense. Now let's shift gears and step into the metaverse. This FanAra report predicts some major shifts for brokers and financial business models. What kind of impact are we talking about?
Imagine managing your investments, talking to financial advisors, even attending shareholder meetings, all within a virtual reality environment. That's the potential of the metaverse in finance.
Whoa, so like a virtual Wall Street.
Exactly. It could reshape how we interact with financial institutions, making services more accessible to people in remote areas. It could also create entirely new business models, like virtual real estate in the metaverse, or personalized avatars for financial advice.
That's mind-blowing. I'm already picturing myself buying virtual stock options while hanging out with my friends' avatars in a virtual cafe.
The possibilities are pretty exciting, but of course there are challenges too, like security, privacy, and ensuring everyone has equal access.
Totally. Makes sense. Now let's talk about smart cities. This partnership between Nokia and NTT Data on private 5G solutions really caught my eye. What's the big deal with private 5G for smart cities?
It's a big shift from the previous focus on public 5G networks. With a private network, a city can have much more control over its infrastructure, security, and data. Think of it like having a dedicated high-speed internet highway, just for critical city functions.
So instead of sharing the network with everyone's cat videos and social media, it's streamlined for essential city functions.
Exactly. Imagine traffic management systems responding in real time to accidents, emergency services getting instant updates on situations, all made possible by this private network. It's about enhancing efficiency and safety in urban environments.
Wow, that's impressive. Speaking of crucial infrastructure, let's not forget about data centers. This Bloomberg article about Digital Bridge acquiring Yonder really highlights the link between AI development and the growing demand for data centers. Can you explain that connection?
Think of it this way: to train those massive AI models that are changing the world, you need an incredible amount of computing power. Data centers provide that power, housing the servers, supplying electricity, and keeping everything running smoothly. As AI gets more sophisticated, the demand for these data centers just keeps increasing.
So it's like AI is this super athlete, and data centers are the high-tech gyms where it trains and gets stronger.
That's a great analogy. Companies like Digital Bridge are investing heavily in this infrastructure, realizing that data centers are essential to the future of technology.
It's like investing in digital real estate. As the digital world expands, the value of these data centers is only going to go up.
Absolutely, but it's not just about profits. There are challenges too, like the environmental impact of these energy-hungry data centers. There's a lot of innovation happening to make them more sustainable.
That's good to hear. Okay, before we move on, I want to touch on how AI is being used to help small businesses. I read about this initiative by the Malaysian government to support SMEs with AI and digital technology. What kind of impact are they hoping to achieve?
It's all about leveling the playing field. They're providing small businesses with access to AI tools that can help them streamline operations, make better decisions, and ultimately compete more effectively with larger companies.
So it's not just for the big guys anymore.
Exactly. Imagine a small retail shop using AI to give personalized recommendations to their customers, or a local manufacturer using AI to optimize their production. These are the kinds of applications that can have a real impact.
I'm already starting to think of some startup ideas. It's exciting to think about how AI can be tailored to help businesses in every industry.
There's a lot of potential there. And it's great to see governments supporting these initiatives to democratize technology.
Okay, so we've covered AI, the metaverse, smart cities, and data centers. What's the common thread running through all of these trends?
I'd say it's the idea of transformation and opportunity. We're seeing how technology is reshaping industries and creating new possibilities for businesses of all sizes.
It's like we're standing at the cusp of a whole new era, and it's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Absolutely. But what's important is that we approach these advancements with a sense of curiosity and responsibility, considering both the benefits and potential challenges.
Well said. I think we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive. I'm already looking forward to exploring some of these topics in more detail in the next segment.
Me too. Let's take a short break and then come back with some even deeper insights. You know, one thing that really struck me is how these technologies are creating entirely new business models. It's like a gold rush for entrepreneurs who can spot the opportunities and capitalize on them.
Totally. We talked about virtual real estate in the metaverse and specialized avatars for financial advice. What other kinds of startup ideas are you seeing emerge from these trends?
Well, in healthcare, we're seeing a growing need for independent auditing of AI algorithms. A startup could specialize in validating these algorithms for safety, bias, and ethical compliance. Kind of like a seal of approval for AI in healthcare.
So like a watchdog organization ensuring that these AI systems are truly beneficial for patients. That's a fantastic idea. Healthcare providers would love that kind of reassurance.
Exactly. And they could even offer consulting services to help healthcare organizations implement AI responsibly, navigating the complex landscape of data privacy, patient consent, and transparency.
Now, let's talk about the metaverse again. It's clear that it has huge potential in finance. But what about other areas? You mentioned virtual workplaces and education platforms. What kind of business opportunities do you see there?
I'm really intrigued by the idea of immersive learning experiences in the metaverse. Imagine a startup that creates virtual field trips for students, allowing them to explore ancient Rome or the Amazon rainforest without leaving their classroom.
That's so cool. It would make learning so much more engaging and memorable, especially for younger generations who are already comfortable in virtual environments.
Right. And it's not just for kids. Imagine virtual training programs for professionals, allowing them to practice complex skills in a safe and realistic environment.
Think of the possibilities for industries like healthcare, aviation, or even manufacturing. Instead of relying on expensive simulations or on-the-job training, they could hone their skills in the metaverse.
Exactly. And these training programs could be personalized and adaptive, adjusting to each individual's learning style and pace.
Okay, now let's brainstorm some startup ideas for smart cities. We discussed the advantages of private 5G networks. What kind of business could leverage that technology?
What if there was a startup that developed specialized sensors and analytics platforms, specifically for private 5G networks? They could collect and analyze hyperlocal data on everything from traffic patterns to air quality to energy consumption, providing real-time insights to city planners and managers.
It's like giving the city a nervous system that can sense and respond to its environment in real time.
Exactly. And that data could be used to optimize city services, improve public safety, and create a more efficient and sustainable urban environment.
I can see city governments lining up to adopt that kind of technology. Now, what about startups that could help small businesses leverage AI? We talked about the Malaysian government's initiative. But what about ideas for businesses themselves?
I'm thinking about a startup that offers AI-powered mentoring and coaching services, specifically for SME owners and entrepreneurs. They could use AI to analyze business data, identify areas for improvement, and provide personalized advice on everything from marketing to operations to finance.
It's like having a virtual business coach in your pocket,
Yeah.
available 24/7. That could be a game changer for small businesses that often lack the resources to hire expensive consultants.
And by using AI, These coaching services could be made more affordable and accessible to even the smallest of businesses.
I love these ideas. It's amazing to see how these technological advancements are not only transforming industries, but also creating so many opportunities for innovation and entrepreneurship.
And we've only scratched the surface. As these technologies continue to evolve and converge, I'm sure we'll see even more creative and disruptive business models emerge.
This deep dive has been so inspiring. It's not just about understanding the technology, it's about envisioning the possibilities and imagining how we can use these tools to build a better future.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive. We're not just passive observers of technological progress. We're active participants in shaping the world we want to live in.
Well said. I think it's time to wrap up this part of our discussion. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned, and then come back to share our final thoughts and takeaways. Welcome back to Decoded Daily. I don't know about you, but my head is spinning with all these incredible tech trends and the possibilities they hold. From AI revolutionizing healthcare to the metaverse changing how we work and learn, it feels like we're stepping into a science fiction novel.
It's definitely a lot to take in, but that's what makes it so fascinating. It's like we're witnessing the birth of a new era, and we have a front row seat.
So for our listeners who are trying to make sense of it all, what are the key takeaways you want them to remember from this deep dive? What are the big things they should be paying attention to?
Well, first and foremost, technology is converging at an unprecedented rate. AI, 5G, the metaverse, they're not isolated trends, they're all interconnected. To understand one piece, you need to see how it fits into the larger puzzle.
It's like an ecosystem where each element depends on the others. So investing in AI also means investing in the data centers that power it.
Yeah.
And the networks that connect it all.
Exactly. And this interconnectedness creates a ripple effect. Advancements in one area can lead to breakthroughs in another, accelerating the pace of innovation across the board.
So it's not just about keeping up with the latest gadgets. It's about understanding the underlying trends and how they're all shaping each other.
Precisely. And the second takeaway is that with all this opportunity comes a lot of responsibility. We need to be mindful of the ethical implications of these technologies and the potential risks they pose.
For example, in healthcare, we talked about the need for rigorous testing and validation of AI algorithms to ensure patient safety. And in the metaverse, we need to think about privacy, security, and accessibility to make sure everyone benefits from this new virtual world.
Exactly. We can't just blindly embrace new technology without considering the potential downsides. We need to ask those tough questions about how we want to use these tools and what kind of future we're building.
So it's not just about can we, but also about should we, and how do we do it right?
Well said. And that brings us to the third takeaway. Technology is ultimately a tool, and it's up to us to decide how we use it. It's a reflection of our values and choices.
Are we using technology to create a more equitable and sustainable world? Or are we just amplifying existing problems?
That's the big question, isn't it? This deep dive has been about more than just understanding the latest tech trends. It's about recognizing the power we have to shape the future.
It's both inspiring and a little bit daunting to realize that we're not just passive observers of technological progress, we're active participants in shaping its trajectory.
Exactly. And that's what makes this such an exciting time to be alive. We have the opportunity to leverage these incredible tools to create a future that's both innovative and humane.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and expertise with us today.
It's been a pleasure. These kinds of conversations are what give me hope for the future.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this journey into the future of tech. We hope you found it as thought-provoking and inspiring as we did. Want to stay ahead in AI and tech? Try Idea Data. Join thousands of professionals in AI, tech, and business. From Fortune 500 companies like IBM, MetLife, Amazon, and more. Get smarter on AI, tech, and new markets with our newsletter. The link is in the show notes. That's all for this episode of Decoded Daily. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep decoding.